Testing, testing, testing. Okay. Welcome, nobody. Hmm. 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 Okay. I'll bite. I'm purple. Oh no, it's me, the purple man. No, wait, not the purple man. He sucks. Y'all seen Jessica Jones? Yeah. Um, you can't just ask a guy why he's purple. All right. Also, am I purple? I think I'm pink. Pink is a great color. Everybody knows that. I'm concerned about. Well, I'm not concerned. Listen, I'm not concerned. But I am trying to figure out how to fit this circuit board in. I know how. Let's be real. I know how. That's not an issue. You know what I need to do here. So what's cool is if I need to do an offset of this shape, but first I need to project it. I'm going to do first project that surface so I don't have to just select the edges. Then I do an offset, not in construction lines. Oh, other way. I ate too much bubble gum? Yes, that's exactly right. Way too much. Way too much. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this just like make a shell, I guess. Like a body that's like a shell, or supposed to be like the outline of this whole thing. And then what I'm going to do is just cut that body through. So, yeah. Yeah. So I think in this case, we're going to have, let's do it like that. Finish that sketch. What's cool is we can split this surface. Split face, boom, boom. Okay, and then, oh. One 1.6, 1.7. Okay. And then here I want to do the same thing. Project with construction lines. Well, fine. We'll select the edges. Cut. That should be good. 1 millimeter. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna add a little fillet action. 1 millimeter fillet there. Sketch. This is just so I can remember where the LED is. And we're gonna split this face now. Boom. 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 Okay. Then press pull this to here. Make this 1.85. Okay. Okay. Then press pull this to, should that be right up against the glass? I don't think it really has to be. Let's put it 2. Cool. All right. Okay, then we have stuff over here. What's up? Hello. First, why the 6-7? First you hear it in Uno and then in the bedroom. Are you cursed? Why are you hearing 6-7 in the bedroom? That's the funniest thing I've ever seen. What? Why 6-7? First I hear it in Uno. You playing Uno like the game? Then I hear it in the bedroom. What's going on? Ugh, come on. It has to be something. There we go. 1, 2, maybe. Okay. Now we just take all these shapes together because I didn't bother doing construction lines. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. 6-7 in the bedroom is crazy. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay. This goes back here. I mean, like, going too far is not really a problem. Oh, Lord. Okay. New body. Okay. Okay, then we gotta take some things here. Project this and that and that and that. And we take these 3, whoa, we take these, whoa, we take these 3 rectangles, whoa. And we zoom them up to here. New body. Okay, now we can combine these 3 bodies. Crazy X hit you up. Remember why you left. Oh my gosh. Why? Because they said 6'7"? That's hilarious. That's why you left? That's a reason to stay. I'm just kidding. That's not a reason to stay. Let's see if this works. I feel the need to give this a little bit of oomph. Where the hell am I? Okay. We're going to take this and zoot it all, like, honestly, maybe right up until there. Okay, we're making a shell for this PCB so that we can use it to cut the shape that we need. I do not know what's going on here, and I kind of don't want to know. That's crazy. What is this? Sorry, I think we need a little intervention here, because I don't like this one bit. You see this mess? This is what CAD does to you. Boom. Mess cleared. Okay. I'm trying to be prettier with my CAD stuff. College for coding, are you sit, dude? I can't imagine being in college right now in a field where so many numbers are said like on a daily basis with those young kids. Yeah, 6'7's got to come up a lot. At least you didn't hear 6'7 in math class. Listen, guys, embrace it. Embrace it. I know the people who started the 6'7 are already over it, but some people move on, but not us. Yeah. Thing with these capacitors is I'm a little bit tired of having to deal with them, and I've been really dumb about the way that I use them. So what I want to do is I literally just want to I don't want to work. I just want to bang on this mug all day. Okay. Go here and there. I'm going to outline the button so I can get supports on either side of this button. Oh, lordy. I can't see a thing. It's drama, I swear. Yeah, I get that. I just want to select the edge, bro. Is that so hard? Give me the edge. What the? Come on, there he is. He's right under the surface. Got him. Okay. Okay, now I can offset this by 1 millimeter. Okay. The kindergartners got Skibbity now. All right, cool. Cool. Skibbity, that's a good one. That's a good one. Skibbity Riz. Don't mind me. All right, with these capacitors, I'm tired of having. You know what? Get out of my way. Go away. Go away. Go away. Okay. With these capacitors, I'm tired of having to model around them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a line here, make a line there, and I know I'm going to trim here and here and here. And you know what? While I'm at it, why have fillets at all? Huh? What's even the point? So a lot of that shit that I just did was for nothing. It's fine. Okay. Get rid of these lines here. Okay. That's that part. I'm gonna make a cut like here, because why not? No. Horizontal vertical doesn't mean anything. 7-year-old little brother, not that bad until he started corrupting my sister. Brain rot is a curse on humanity. Oh my god. Brain rot actually has an interesting. I just watched a video about like brain rot. Like the idea is being like scientifically studied in a sense, and it's really interesting. Because it's not like it's not causing the problems that people expect in the cultural zeitgeist, but it is definitely something to consider. I think the main effect that is observed in the scientific literature is um, the main effect that is observed in the scientific literature is that the act of scrolling like on your feed through short form videos kind of tricks your brain into thinking that you are controlling something or that you're doing an active task, right? Because they studied the effect of that versus just like if a montage of short videos on your feed plays and you don't have control over actually skipping or that if you're just watching it. Um, and the main thing that they're looking at is if you use that as a break, like if I'm doing this and then I take a break and scroll on my phone for a little bit, I often find that like my brain is like now thinking I've switched tasks completely and I put my phone down, I'm like, what was I even doing? You know what I mean? So, but they find that effect is lessened if you don't like have control over the scrolling. So I think it's a problem because it's a mix between um, your scrolling, so your brain is like, oh, I'm doing an active task, even though the stuff that's being fed to you through your feed is not controlled by you, right? You don't get to choose what's next. You just get to choose if you go to the next video. So it's a nasty technique that these companies use. Of course, we all know that. But it's interesting that it's more so about like it's not necessarily your attention span is getting less, but it's just that you like this is not a good break to take like if you're doing work, it's like it really takes your brain out of this situation. I don't think it has like lasting effects on your behavior. I think that's kind of alarmist, but it's definitely something that you want to stay away from in general just because it stops you from getting the things done that you need to do. I need that sketch back because I'm using it. So that's why it's good to sit in a stream like this for hours and pay attention to it and learn some things, hopefully. This is a button right here, but over here is an LED on this side. This is the reset button, so that's for troubleshooting purposes only. Yeah, that exists just for resetting the bootloader if I need to, and resetting the devices if I need to, but that's a lesser extent. Split this face like this. Okay. Cool. That sketch can go away now. Do I want to do more splits? Sure. Why not? I'm going to split this face with this. Okay, now, finally, we're going to take this and move it up to here, 2.3, 2.4, okay. Then we're going to take this, move it up to here. Sure, why not? 5.8. Okay. These black things you see here don't actually exist on the real PCB, so we don't have to worry about those. The pins, they don't exist on the real PCB, so we don't have to worry about those. That's the shell. So that's going to be a good like place for the PCB to sit. I'm kind of wondering though. All right, I'll bite. I'll get a little bit more of a support surface. Like right here. Okay. That's how your uncle got flashed and quit his computer carrier? Yeah, that does sound tough. Yeah, I feel like doom scrolling and ADHD is probably a terrible, terrible combo. Wow. Wow. Epiphany of the year. No, just kidding. That's kind of obvious. Any more support surfaces that I can add? I don't think so. Maybe right here. Maybe. This one can't hurt, right? This one will be fine. Gotta add some things here. Okay. This one will be just fine. We'll go to there. Okay. All right. Board outline. Computer career. That's tough. Spider 610 is here. What's up? Yep, we are. Oh yeah. Wait. Do you guys think I look purple? I feel like I'm pink. Is this purple or pink? Just got done going a double lap around the farm park wearing black compression tank and black jogger with purple accents and black shoes. Hell yeah. Super suit jogging run. I love it. What'd you miss the past 25 minutes? You missed not much. Talking about doom scrolling brain rot, the science behind shortening attention spans. They're actually not shortening, so don't worry about that. But just try not to doom scroll if you're taking a break from important work because you're going to have a hard time refocusing. That's basically what the science tells us. But you'll find that you are still able to sit down and pay attention for a long period of time if you are told to, if you have to. Okay. You might not want to. That's a different thing. But you still have the ability to. The dark areas of the camera are purple, the lighter ones are pink. It's like that black and blue or gold and yellow dress. Oh, interesting. By the way, I haven't set up a push-up goal. What are we doing here? Okay, we're going to do 30 super chats, $2 or more, 60 push-ups, which is still kind of a stretch for me, but if you want to make me sweat, you can totally do it. Bubblegum pink with chewed up edges. That's what you look like. That's what I look like every day, dude. That's what I look like in real life. I have all sorts of chewed up edges. Big ass scar on my hip right here. Hold on. Give me a second. I've lived here for 4 years. I have 1 month left, and they're finally installing a chain lock on my door. Health and safety inspection told them they had to, I guess. When you design the new pressure vessel? Very soon. That's like almost the last step, I think, because I got to make sure that everything else fits. Because the problem that I ran into before was having to design around a pressure vessel, when really the pressure vessel should be designed around everything else that needs to go in the device. That's really the thing, because for years we're dealing with designing a pressure vessel, like, or we're dealing with like whatever pressure vessels on the market, right? CO2 cartridges, Blood Spider's got those flasks, stuff like that, like PVC pipe, whatever pressure vessel we can get, let's make something that can fit that. But that really limits us. So the whole point of me doing a device like this is the fact that we can design the pressure vessel to be whatever shape we want. And I kind of lost that main idea because I designed a pressure vessel, this one right here, and it was like, oh well, fit everything around this shape because this shape is about right. Yeah, the preform bottles, exactly, that sort of stuff. So I much prefer designing the pressure vessel around everything else. So the thing is, this is nice, but I'm concerned about wiring. I'm concerned about wiring. So I need to make sure that I can reach all the wires. So let's let's design space for that. And it's very possible that I'll need every single wire that comes off of this thing. It's not certain, right? But it's possible. So I'm going to make the channels for that. I'm going to make a 20 millimeter thingy. And this is quite, like, I want it to be a little bit far out. I don't know how far it needs to go yet. I need to see this design again. Not that one. Not that one. The door. Okay, yeah. That'll be fine. That's actually, I mean, so you're kind of right, knowing the nozzle position, which depends on the pressure vessel design, but I can still put the nozzle like where I want. I know that it has to be like in the middle altitude, so I know that. So I have some like already building stuff around where the nozzle is going to be, right? Where the nozzle section is going to be. So I'm kind of keeping in mind what the pressure vessel shape is and needs to be, because there are manufacturing limitations as I do this. So basically, I know that the nozzle is going to be like right here above the trigger, right? Centered in the height of this for sure. And so I know where it's going to be. But yeah, you're right that the linkages. There's also the question of how far back it is. The linkages might be like very last actually, but the pressure vessel and the linkages kind of have to be designed together, I think. Okay. So here's what I think. Here's what I think. Gonna make some paths for the wires. So maybe something like that. 2 millimeter channel. I don't know, maybe that's not enough. Let's go with 3, just for kicks. Although this is a little bit worrying, actually. 2.5 will probably be okay. Well, I don't know. Don't listen to anything I'm saying right now. I'm just thinking out loud. I mean, maybe that's good. That's that side, and then on this side, we really just have, because yeah, no problem. Thank you. Cool, man. They're all done. Okay. Oops. How was my dinner last night? It was good. What did I have? Had an omelet, and that's about it. I'm like, I am like, I'm trying to spend like no money until I move because the move is going to be very expensive. So I'm doing like bare bones grocery shopping, um, and no eating out, no takeout, which takes a lot of time, but I think it's going to be worth it. So this definitely needs to move up here. Maybe, I mean, there's no things up there. Okay. Da 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 da. Go here. Sure, I'll expose part of the capacitor. Why not? Who cares? Not me. Okay. So the way I see it, these are our dedicated channels for wires coming right off the circuit board. Oh wait, there's still more. There's more up here. Maybe I'll need that. But maybe I won't. But I'll do it just in case. So Japanese Spider-Man design 2 or more original. Yeah, some people, and I guess you said that my design looks like the Japanese Spider-Man design. So I designed for functionality only. So any like resemblance to something is totally coincidental. Um, and so I don't really get to pick what it's going to look like, but I will say it's thinner. It's a lot thinner than what it is before. We got 610 sister. What up? Let's go. Okay, we need a new body. So the way I see it, I need to see just so because I want to get this right. The door, the nope and a nor, this part here. So this needs to go here, but like -3, no, +3, no, because we have this thing here. Okay, so plus 4, 5, 6, 7.5, and on the other side, -5.5. So we'll have about a 2.5 millimeter wall width. So we've created channels, and okay. So I guess those don't matter. Wait, what's going on here? Hold on, I need to make sure that this is actually gonna work. Something's up. Okay, we got a little bit sticking out here. Let's go to a section view. Right, so the board fits, but the outline I made for the board does not fit, and that's probably fine. It's just slightly out of there. So I could just, what I'm gonna do, I know I have a section view, so let me actually see it. There we go. I know this is the thin wall distance here. There's going to be a little bit of interference, but that's okay because we've got space Just not going to worry about it. And we can thicken that if we have to, but we don't really have to. This is just tricky in and of itself. That base model is as big as crazy-eyed Mike's forehead. Oh my god. Oh, we got Chonky Bonky 69. I mean, Rick, right? Great video. Thank you very much. Are you doing parametric modeling? No, I don't do that. My things are too complicated. I don't know if that's true. So basically what this is saying is that those channels that I made for the wires aren't really useful in this direction, which I guess is fine because I actually need all the wires to go this way, towards that way, because they're going to pass through the hinge over here into this part. Then the question is, do I need any of the wires on the other side of this board at all? So first things first, I'm going to join these bodies together so they're all one. And yeah, some of them are on the other side. So there is that part of things. And if I'm being honest, I'm going to take this back because it's kind of close to the edge. Yeah, but you used to not only design for functionality. I mean, sometimes for fun, I'll design something that looks like something from a movie, but when I'm building something that I actually believe is, for the benefit of society, that really doesn't come into play at all. Try using a copper plate wire that would be infused in 3D printing and imprints by pausing it. Yeah, but then it's not serviceable. Then it's not serviceable. So that's not great. Oh, what am I iterating on? I'll get to your comments in a second. These are great comments, guys. So I'm building the chamber for the PCB, but that's kind of secondary to what I want to be doing. Over here, I'm working on the trigger mechanism. That's what I started on yesterday, but I've made a lot of progress. You can see here, completely redesigned the trigger. I plan to do this now with conductive 3D filament. So I'm hoping that I can build a trigger with that, and that way I don't have to weave the wires through because that sucks. And so that comes over here, flexible filament, winds on here, so it's retractable. And then here we can see, so the white is an insulator, the black is a conductor or resistor, really. Then we press down on here to join the two leads together. That's my plan, and this is supposedly 3D printable. Yeah. Well, the Flex PCB is still, that's a separate project. That's a completely separate project. So this is kind of like my immediate solution for the trigger for this device. And my Flex PCB project, that's the force myography project, is my pie in the sky. That's my research. Like that's like you could publish a paper on the models that I'm going to use to interpret force myography signals for gesture recognition. But it would be useful for this in the future. Like I'm not just a prototyper. I'm a researcher, right? I have a PhD, so I have experience with dealing with technologies that are not super well proven yet, and I think that makes my work very exciting. So NRC 13, I love your content. Though I'm an engineering student, I really haven't worked on anything yet fully. So all of this is really intimidating. Don't be intimidated. If you're an engineering student, that's awesome. That's like half the battle anyway. Um, and yeah, I just say focus on what projects make you happy. There's a lot of noise in engineering school, a lot of people trying to convince you to do things. Just focus on what you think is important. That's my advice. And that's what I'm doing here. And what am I doing? Right. So the wires, like, there are some pads here, but these are mostly power pads, so I don't really need them. Um, would kind of suck if I did. Would kind of suck if I did need them. Thing is, the way I have this, there's not much room to pass to the other side of the board, right? This is a tight fit. And there actually are a lot of pads over here. So I'm really only going to have access to the power, which is good. Those are the motor. No. Those are the sensor pins, which is good. The thing is, I'm going to have the analog sensor, right? This is still going to be an analog sensor, not a digital sensor, because we don't know what kinds of resistances we're going to be getting. So that's an analog sensor port. And then we've got the motors, right? We have two motors still. Then I've got two limit switches up here that I'm going to need to use for the trigger deployment mechanism. So those can have input pull-ups. So I only need access to the actual pin. And these, like, I don't need access to the power to have a physical pull-up resistor, because I can have an internal pull-up. And so what I'm going to do is have the internal pull-up, and I believe that these pins here were intended for like external LEDs, but they allow me to access directly the digital pins on the chip, and the other two are ground. I believe these two are ground, these two are. So we should be fine only having wires go in this direction. I hope. These are the SWD programming pins, so I definitely won't need those. These pins could be useful, though. These are more, these pads, they are more like breakout of the pins on this chip. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it is time to think about wire management for sure. "23, and I would like to pursue my PhD again. It might take some more years to do it." Yeah, it's definitely a commitment for sure. As a Spider-Man fan, seeing all this and getting to build my own stuff has always been a dream, and I really hope I make it. I shall start studying as soon as possible. That's right. Study hard. This stuff does not come easy. You know, I can't tell you. I'm not one of those people who was like, we didn't learn anything in school. Literally everything I've learned in school has helped me do what I do on this channel. I like every class that I took in high school, college, and grad school. I was sitting there thinking the whole time, paying attention to what they were saying. I was like, how can I apply this to all my projects? And I think that attitude helped me greatly. So I'd recommend you to do the same thing if you want to be like me, which is also not something I would generally recommend because life is not easy at the moment, but you know, it's I have the hope that it will be rewarding in its own right. You have to really care about it, is basically what I'm saying. So it is time to think about wire management. Yes, absolutely. Someone said, by the way, how do you at people? I don't know. How do you at people? How do you at people? Hmm. Should I just go with it? I'm gonna go for it. Don't make this too complicated. Don't make it too complicated. If everything works fine, I shouldn't need those other pins, so we're gonna go for it. Take this body, cut it with this body. Cut. We don't need to keep the tools. Okay. There we go. So we have a little space here for this. Oh, yeah. Okay. Need to select a cut plane. Let's just take a look here. Okay, so lots of space for the wires there, space for the capacitors, for the pins, for the chips, for the PCB, supports for the PCB there, and the LED there. Okay. That's built into there. I kind of now want to break this up into the parts that I will need to actually put it together. Would you recommend a solid foundation or try things you might find interesting until your foundation is set? I say both at the same time. Always try things and always try to build a foundation. Both. That's my recommendation, truly. I was doing projects when I didn't know anything. And I was learning a lot while I was doing projects. Both. I think they're both really important. Okay. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? All very good questions. Trying to make my own spider bot probably better than you're just joking, but I'm bad at programming. Well, if you want to get good at programming, you can buy a Charlotte and, try to program it. Well, you'll need the electronics too at this point. Be a good way to learn. Shameless plug. So, okay, let me think here. What about the battery? What about the battery? Be right back. I'm going to grab some batteries. So before I was using a battery of this size, but I'd really like to use a battery of this size just to make it last longer. But 3.7 volts will still be fine. We can still operate on a low voltage. But yeah, I really want to see if I can fit a bigger battery in here. Probably not, if I had to guess. But who knows? It is longer now. That's most relationships. Most relationships. What are we talking? Are we talking about? What are we talking about? Are we talking about relationships? Interesting. Interesting conversation going on. 25 by 8.3. Let's call it 26 by 9. First test, can we fit that in here? That would be really sick, actually. That would be really cool. 3-point rectangle. 9. Okay, okay. Hey, I think we can do it. We can fit a bigger battery. What CAD software? This is Fusion 360. Well, I don't think it's called Fusion 360 anymore. That's from the old times. Autodesk Fusion. You guys see this? We're going to need a bigger battery in real life. I'm going to try something here. If I offset this by, kind of just want to move it around. 89? No. We don't want to tilt it more. We want to tilt it less. 4. Okay, that looks a lot more reasonable in terms of battery storage space. Okay, then can we make it as long as we need it to be? Because that would also be really cool. Can we fit a bigger battery? How many milliamp hours? Oh shoot, you just made me remember something else. I do want to do limit switching on the trigger as well. Fuck. Okay. Wait, but that's fine. Because we still have the other analog port. Okay, so we're going to be good. The reason why you made me think of that, thank you very much, is because you'll notice if you watch my videos with this design, the motor sort of end stop, like the valve stops opening because there's nowhere else for it to go. So the motor torques out, that's what makes it stop. And I kind of have it on a timer so that it doesn't torque out for very long. But it's not very good practice and it does drain the battery. So I want to do a limit switch on the valve actuation mechanism so that that doesn't happen. That's best practice. And I think I can do that. So I will. And so the motor torques out at about 0.8 amps, so quite a lot. But ordinarily only requires, I believe, like 100 milliamps or something like that to operate the valve. Probably 300 milliamps, something like that, in that range. But we're not looking at anywhere close to an amp for normal operation of this device. Yeah, that's what I'm using, 1S batteries. This is the key innovation here. You see my old designs, they need 12 volt, 9 volt batteries, but this is key. Tiny battery, very low power operation to control very high pressure. That's pretty key for this device. Okay, so this is 45 millimeters deep. It's pretty long. It's pretty long. Ooh, it kind of gets close. And it's not just 45, it's 45.5. This is a big battery. Shoot. Let's take a look. I was really having high hopes for this. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily interfere with anything. We are going to need a little bit of an offset. Wait, like a 0.8, just so we can get some wall thickness. 0.7, 0.6. Okay, I'm going to make the shape of the battery, then try to move it around, and maybe we can fit it somewhere. You can see here it's interfering with the capacitor just a little bit. We're going to add like the fillets that are kind of a real thing, so we can get away with a lot more because they're pretty rounded. And even at the ends as well, though I don't know where the wires are going to go yet, so I'd be kind of dumb to fillet that now. But yeah, it'll be pressing right up against the USB port. I don't know about solar charging. I mean, maybe because it's a small battery. It's a small battery and a low voltage. This is... Yeah, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I just don't want to think about it right now because I have so much other stuff to do. Fitting a solar panel in this design might be the real hard part, but I don't know much about that. But maybe I will in the future. Oh, this is so close here. Okay, give me that that sweet section view. This is what I need to see right here. That view. It shows me this cross section, how everything interacts. So capacitors are a real problem, but that's a bit more feasible. Look, this will probably work. This will probably work. Just a little bit. It's crazy how everything's squished in here. Yeah, that's right. Then you need more circuits. That's right, to control the solar charging. Yeah. Yeah. There's still a little bit of space. I just don't want to think about it right now because there's so many other problems to solve. I'm gonna do just like, whoa, dude, chill. What was that? Press pull, this face, new offset, chill. Okay, 0 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. Oh, God. Everything's really packed in here. But this should work. I think. I think this should work. And either way, I'm going to try it this way. And this way we haven't sacrificed any of the form factor. So if we have to do like 1 or 2 millimeters here and there, fine. And that will certainly work, but this might. So I'm going to go with the might for now. And the power port is right down here. Button cell batteries, not enough power to operate a motor with high torque and high speed. Not enough discharge. I'm going to do it. It's kind of silly. But yeah, so this is our battery spot. I'm gonna keep the tool just because it's the battery, you know. Let me even make a component out of it. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay. The wire management is so, like, takes so much thought in my mind to be like, where the hell are these gonna go? It's really hard. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, let's see here. Dude, I'm so, like, okay. Okay. Here's the thing. I have been thinking about wire management for a long time, and one of the things that I have found is thinking about ground bars. Like, look at this. I know that could be really useful, especially since I don't have like multiple ground ports on the board because there's not space for that. But having these ground bars in certain sections of this bracelet where systems might need to interact, because I'm going to need 3 sensor wires, and so each sensor needs a ground, 4 terminal ground up in one part of the board, 1 to bring the ground there, and 1 and 3 to go to each sensor. So let me sure. I want to see everything. And then I don't want to see this anymore. Okay. So here's where we are right now. I've been focusing on this part up here, which is where the trigger deployment mechanism is. So I've worked on this quite a bit. Gear, and I've made this all fit really well. This is the trigger, axles go in here. Then we have limit switches here. There's going to be a notching system on the trigger. I haven't done that yet. The limit switch mounting screw here. So we've got 4 sensors up here, essentially. 4 sensors. No, it's 3 sensors. 2 limit switches and the main trigger. So if we want that ground bar, because over here is going to be pressure vessel stuff, obviously, because the nozzle is going to be here. So there's going to need to be at least some pressure vessel here. So if I want to get that ground bar, right, 7.5 by 28.4 by 5.5. Okay, let's just make that. Because I'm also thinking about how it is going to be to assemble this thing. Interesting info about the solar panels, guys. I don't know if you can post links in chat. You can email it to me, though. That'd be good info. But I have one S cell that will fit, and it's 600 milliamp hours, so it should last a really long time, which is what I want. Is that right? Did I get that right? 5.5, 7.5. Most backwards way to make things perpendicular, but whatever. They were on the wrong side of each other. Let's do it like this. Okay. I mean, let's just see. We can probably do this in the right place now. The top is not even close to being done. You can see it's the wrong shape, but that's okay. That's okay. So we know that we're going to have some motor right there. A little tricky. Little bit tricky. Certainly possible. I'd rather it be vertical than at some weird angle. That's for sure. So it could also be, though. Could also be this direction. That might actually be more feasible. I don't know. Yeah. It's kind of wacky, but it is going to be taller than 7 because there's going to be like a screw top, like here. Let's just say there. So this might not work. We're really close. I could just move it down. Don't have a lot of space because of the battery. I don't know. If it fits, it fits, but it might not. Like, I'm sorry this takes so much thinking, guys, and not a lot of doing. You know, a lot of the things you might see me planning out here might not actually happen. And that's just like the nature of engineering, you know? I would love to have a ground bar because it makes assembly so much easier. Does it fit somewhere else? Let's extrude this to the right distance, and then we can just try to move it around if we need to. What is it? 28.4. Okay. There's not a lot of space. I want pressure vessel here. But this wouldn't be a bad place for it if it has to be. Because I can sacrifice 5 millimeters of pressure vessel space, right? That's only a few milliliters. So if this goes here, ground bar, and be kind of inset, I guess. That would be really nice because we'd have the ground wire for this trigger go there. And there would be, so there would be one, like, because you can get to it from both sides. You can access it from 2 sides, at least I'm assuming. I mean, it looks like it, right? I wouldn't imagine they make, yeah, they're not blind holes, duh. So here, you'd have the ground wire for the trigger, bam. And you'd probably, it's not super easy. You still need the other trigger wire somehow going past here. So you need a little bit of space, but you don't need a lot for that. And then is that coffee or water? I can't tell my strong milk at this point. It's coffee, but it's gone now. I might need some more. Yeah, unfortunately, when I decided to do when I'm required to not like buy food out, because I got a little bit of an income boost, which seems to have dissipated. And I need to move next month, so it's gonna be tight. My coffee machine also broke, so that's a problem. So I've got like bottled cold brew is the cheapest option for me at this point, which is not too bad. Get a whole bottle of it for the price of one cup at Starbucks. So, Bing, Bing. So I'd have the ground wire going to the PCB this way through here. Long ground wire coming here. This is a ground bar. And then we can connect that there. I honestly think that this is kind of a good place for it. Right in front of these screws. We're only sacrificing 5.5 millimeters. Sure. Yeah, RIP my coffee machine for sure. That was tough. Here's another coffee. Thank you, Rick. Thanks so much. And we're 1 out of 30 for the push-ups, everybody. Appreciate that. Although I know you live in Europe where a coffee is actually €2. And I'm very jealous of you. Okay, I think that will be fine. I'm going to color this so I know what it is made out of, I guess. Brass, I guess. Okay. Call this ground bar. And we can make a component from it. So we have that. And we are going to cut. That's where that will sit. I don't like having things that are different, so push that in. And that's really annoying. Just bear with me for 1 second. Great. Problem solved. Yeah, no kidding. New York City, where coffee is like $10 or more. That sucks. That sucks. I'm actually moving to New York State, believe it or not, which is wild to think about. It'd probably be the closest to New York City I'll ever get in my life. But I really like being in New York City, but yeah, damn, things are expensive. Well, I feel like it probably depends on the coffee. Like, like, I feel like if you get like black coffee from like a deli or bodega, it can't be more than like $5-6, right? Versus like a latte, maybe at like a Chelsea, like, Chelsea Market or something like that. Um, probably would be like $12 maybe. I don't know. It's been a minute since I've been able to spend cash in New York City, so, but yeah. Don't get a luxury Starbucks cup. I mean, I never go for, something simple. I do like espresso drinks, but like black coffee is fine. And to be honest, I think that it's like $3 for like, you know, cup of coffee at a diner, maybe four, like that's like refillable. And that's always really nice. Like I really like going to a diner and they're just like, "Oh, can I warm you up?" It's always fun. Yeah. Free refill coffee is kind of sick. That's why, if I go to, I love pancakes and, bacon and all that stuff. So I go to a diner, and I get coffee and I just always more coffee. If you're in Manhattan, good luck. You'll be broke after. Yeah, I thankfully I'm not going to live in Manhattan. Yes, I would be broke. There'd be no way. I'm moving upstate. Can you up? How's the pie? So good. Let me just disappear behind a truck. Yeah. All right, so ground bar goes there. Now we're finally thinking about wire management. So these limit switches, I need to use the normally disconnected. Or, no, normally. Only sit in one of three configurations. Yeah, normally it will be disconnected. I do forget which is which all the time. How can I find that out? How can I remember? €1 in Italy? Seriously? Are you sure? I was in Italy not too long ago. I mean, I'm sure you're from Italy, but maybe it depends where in Italy. The tourist traps probably aren't so kind. I feel like in Italy you don't even drink black coffee. Is that true? Maybe you do. I thought it was all espresso. Isn't that where espresso comes from? Okay, I've got my voltmeter here. Okay. So, okay. So I want the top two pins. Okay. Nice, easy. So if I put a midplane here and here, then I just need like, I don't know, -2, -1, nope, 2, something like that. A little espresso. Yeah, a little shot, right? That's maybe €1. Yeah. I could see that. That makes sense because it's small. Yeah. Okay. So I'm mapping out where the wires are going to be for these limit switches. So it seems pretty simple. If I just take this and that, then I just need to connect this. Well, I actually could. I think this actually looks kind of good. If I do this and then this, probably don't want much. Well, how much do these pins extend? That's actually a good question. I don't have to trim them every time I build this. So 2.3. So 4 millimeters to be safe. Let's not do that dimension. Let's worry about this dimension being 3. And then I want this dimension here. That's going to be a driven. But we are going to know that it is, well, it is D527. So we're going to do the same number here. That's the cool thing that I found out, is that you can use driven dimensions as functions. So that distance and that distance will be the same. Oh, lordy. What is... Okay. Then we do here 3. And it's kind of tricky because it doesn't really fit, but I think it's fine. I think it's fine, right? Should be okay. In Manhattan, a little espresso would most likely be $5 to $6. Yes, I could see that for sure. Yeah. And you probably can't even get like, I don't know, maybe. I don't really order that much, just like a single shot of espresso. I feel like that's not available everywhere, surely, right? Okay. Great. Sure, dude. Whatever. Whatever floats your boat. So that's that. Some wire management for your soul. But I do need to make a little bit of space just for the other pin, because I don't want to have to trim it. It's just going to be floating. The third pin, which sits deep into here. I need to know these limit switches, their bottom part. Yeah, it's all the same, right? Yeah. Okay. Fine and Sammy both went to New York 1 month apart from each other for different reasons. Yeah, that's right. That was a long time ago. 2024. Yeah, I went to New York for a robotics conference. It's very interesting. Oh no, thin wall here. Should I care about that? Probably should. It's probably not a big deal if I just chamfer this. No one has to know. Oh, good Lord. One distance, please. Measure from here to here. What is this? What are you doing here, man? Come on. Don't do this to me, man. Measure. Here. to here. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, perfect. All right, so there's gonna be some wires, blah, 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 coming up here. Great. Into the ground section thing. $610, you will go to an event that is career-based, collab-based when you do that. It's up to you. You know, sign up. I paid for that robotics conference myself. I hid it from my boss. My boss didn't even know that I went because that was not what my research was about. But it was a security, safety, rescue robotics conference. Obviously, that's important to me. So I wanted to see what the field was all about, and it was really interesting. And maybe I'll go back. Maybe I'll present something, but maybe not. I hope I do, but I'm very busy. I also kind of want to jam for this too, just because. What the heck? What if I have to screw something in there? There's going to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, right? All through this thing. Kind of sucks that I don't have access to the gears anymore, but I feel like it won't be that big of a deal. Okay, that's a good. It's a good start. I'm not even. I should make sure that these wires will be visible. Let me do -1. Um, 2.5. Two point five. Okay. Great. Which I guess means that all goes there. So we need to make sure these wires are accessible, which means do that. So that we can get to the holes where the wires will be. Great. Gosh, this is such a task. I might still be going in 2-3 hours. I have some other stuff to do today for sure. I should probably stop in like 90 minutes, I think. How much does the goal have left? Goal ends in 47 minutes. So as soon as the goal ends, I'm out of here. Because I got some client projects to work on. I've got Charlotte to build. That reminds me, I gotta print some more Charlotte parts here. Charlotte print files. Battery configuration. This one. The holy cover. Cool. And go to Prusa link. All right, be right back. I'm actually not impressed with the print quality. I mean, it's okay, but I need to try something else real quick for this part because it's a little bit wavy, and I think it's because it's thin. So if I go maybe like 60% on everything, speed-wise, and change the layer height to be a little bit higher because sometimes that can make better quality. I'm going to make sure to save this config just in case it works really well. Because why wouldn't it work really well, right? That's pretty cool. One purple in the midst of the swarm. Yeah, I'm excited to make the purple one. Making the black one right now, but I have the purple Polymax filament. I just need to dry it, and then, yeah, this one's almost done. So purple will be the very next one. Okay, let's see here. Gosh, wire management sucks. I feel like I should try to push it like to one side. First things first. First things first is I actually kind of want to make the thing that interfaces with this. Yeah, a little bit scary. But these are conductive 3D prints. 2 traces here. So I just need like some kind of follower. Seems like there's a good spot for it here to have things kind of just running over. Gosh, I'm in trouble. I am in trouble. I'm gonna do mid-plane there. So I'm thinking about having something that kind of stretches over. Because there is space for that. There is space for that. My favorite type of watch, I don't have a watch. I don't even have a smartwatch. I don't even have an Apple Watch. I wear nothing on my wrist. My favorite type of watch is the one that I made that shoots webs. How about that? That's my favorite type of watch. Let me get some of this stuff here. Bam, 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 bam. 4 curves. So if I want to make this like 1 millimeter, yeah. Okay, somehow we're going to do this being tangent. Oh, that doesn't work. Okay. You mean the first one with the current nozzle design? You and a guy in this program make an illustrator flat profile bottle format flat circle bottle. Nice. That'll be good. Plot twist, I'm the guy on Insta. No, I'm just kidding. There's tons of people on Instagram. Trying to think about what would be reasonable here, because obviously I think we're gonna need like a spring, which I low-key hate springs a lot. But springs are conductive. What if I just use a spring? This might be a better spot for those tiny tension springs. A little. Oh. Yeah, but then it's too expensive. It would be cool, I agree. But it's too expensive for like making it en masse, and then also there's not much that I really need to indicate for this design, you know? Simple's better. Simple indicator. bag of these little tiny tension springs that I talked about in the video that now seems to have vanished. But I have a couple, but I'm sure it'll turn up. And the real question I have here is, can I use these springs as like a... Oh, they're too stiff. They're too stiff. They're way too stiff. They would also wear down the material as well. To have metal rubbing on this material, it would wear down very fast. So instead, I just want this to be as simple as possible. Is that so hard? Is that too much to ask? Okay. This can be a print and place thing. For sure. For sure. And it actually would work quite well. Sorry, I'm thinking so much. I need more coffee. That's the main issue here. 30 minutes left for the goal. Okay, perfect time for coffee. Coffee. Be right back. Coffee. What about a drum spring? I know what that is. Just looking it up for other people. Ah, like something like this, I think is what you're thinking. Okay, I've got to think critically here. This is probably too big, obviously. It's for a bass drum. But no. I'm looking for drum. No, leaf spring. I mean, no, this is all for your car or whatever. have something stretching over here. Part of it, a very small part of it, is going to be made out of a tension spring. Very small part of it. So I've got like 6.8 millimeters. Smallest this can be is going to be like this. Okay. I don't know if you guys see what I'm doing, but I'm doing something. I promise. Oh. Sorry. My bad. I often forget that there's actual equipment involved here and that you guys are not in the same room as me. I don't think this filament is going to be stretchy enough on its own. That, and I want to limit the resistance, so this follower is going to have to be thicker. So I'm going to make it out of filament. Okay, bear with me. How long is this? Oh. Dealing with conductivity kind of sucks. I can utilize the stretchiness of this filament. Maybe. The problem is if it plastically deforms, that's not nice. How do I ensure that this will stretch in the way I want it to? That I don't know. But what I do know is that this is probably the shape of my follower. I don't know. I mean, just pretend for now. And let's say, I'm going to need maybe 4 millimeters total. That seems reasonable. Got to be a little less just to make sure it makes contact. 3.5. 0.4. New body. Okay. All right. And we're going to take this one. Well, let's make them the same part. So first of all, I'm going to call this contact. Make it the right color. Make a component out of it. Copy the component. Paste the component. Do a point to point from here to here. Okay. Interesting situation that we have for sure. This is like what I've been thinking for a long time that it was going to be. We're going to need wires coming off it, and then we're going to need some kind of way to make it a little bit stretchier than it is. Because I don't think this is going to provide enough stretch. The filament's a little bit flexible, but I don't know. Let's do some rounding, just cause we can. Actually, that could work. Enough stretchiness to have this be the natural joint. This is 1 millimeter wide. This might work well enough on its own. If it's printed like this and not flat like I had thought. But that should work. Something like this could work, I think, without being too complicated. Let's just go with that for now. Really, dude? Really? This is going to be okay. So we're going to use a 12 millimeter screw. on this. So that doesn't go past. And then here, for the attachment points of these followers. Oh, well, we don't need to do 2. These are getting close to like not being printable, but I think they're still printable. Okay, cool. Give me my section view back. I can't see a thing. Okay. That's great. But before I do that, I want to get rid of this stupid hole that I did before. Nice. No reason for that hole to go so far. Okay. So I'm mounting those followers there. This is printed out of electrically conductive TPU. Yes, correct. Everyone knows we're gonna need some wires somehow to get over here. Oh, gosh, man. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna need attachment points here for wires and mechanical attachment points. Okay. I'm kind of thinking Okay. We need like a back panel here, you know? Something that holds this in place, covers this up, guards the wires, everything. Yeah, I'm streaming. Can you believe it? Call me I show speed. I don't know, just first streamer I could think of. All right. Back panel nonsense here. Um we're going to need like mounting screws. Offset this by and that by 1 millimeter. And then can probably fit a mounting screw over here. We need 5 millimeter diameter for that. No, there's no reason for. Do I even have like mounting screws kind of real estate here? I don't even know if I have the length to accommodate that. 4 millimeters? Maybe. I don't know. Don't know. Look, I'm gotta get the wires. These 2 wires over here somehow. These wires are already going over here. These wires can go over here. 4 of them stay, and then 4 of them go. Just 4 go. That's all I need. There's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wires coming in here. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 wires come in. 3 attach. 1 comes out, and then the other 3 come out. Yeah. That's all I need. Just like a little area. Little area here. I don't think this is good. I also don't even know what's going on past this. I think pressure vessel like has to be there. So call that my limit, I guess. And then Why not line this up with that? Need like landmarks instead of just putting random shit down. Okay. So maybe the back panel stretches like here. If that's the case, just make a rough outline first. Huh? How about that? Okay, so sure, maybe it's that thick. Okay, that's what it looks like. And let's just cut there. So why not? Okay. So back panel here covers up some of the wiring. Can have a mounting screw there, and definitely a mounting screw here. That means over here, it's going to need a different kind of insert. Don't want sharp edges. So we'll do that. It also means point 1 here. Just to get some of that clearance distance. Oof, I'm getting hungry, y'all. Okay, so we've got 3 minutes left on this stream. So that's good news because, boy, oh boy, I'm feeling it. And I might exercise today. I say might because I might also have a band rehearsal, but I really want to go to parkour practice. So hopefully those two things can both happen. Oof. Okay, so that's the back panel. I guess you could say I'm kind of working backwards in terms of where, like, the wires are gonna, I know they're gonna come from here and go over here. Jesus Christ. It's gonna be hard, but it's gonna be so worth it. It's gonna be so worth it. I'm gonna take this surface, 0.1. Oh, who can forget the motor wires as well? Those are going to have to come from here, of course. So we're going to need those to pass through kind of the same place, right? There's no other space for them. At least no other obvious space for them. Let me do that real quick. Oh my gosh, thank you, 95 problems plus 1. That's $20. You are a G. For a burrito? Heck yeah. Except no lettuce or cilantro, because we don't want to have cyclosporiasis. But thank you very much. I will get a burrito without lettuce or cilantro. That means no cilantro rice. I think they did identify it was lettuce, but I'm not sure. That was Michigan Health and Human Services, by the way. Thank you, Michigan, because the federal government's not doing it. But thank you very much. That will really come in handy. Okay. This looks like my my motor. Gosh. Looks like my motor wire slot. And there's no problem if that goes down 3 millimeters. Great. And we'll figure out how to connect that all later. And I think that, yeah, this will be covered up, no worries, because there's going to be a top coming down. This is just for ease of assembly, that cylinder there. So it'll all be covered. My Woder, my Woder wire slot. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I meant. My Woder, my Woder wire slot. Perfect. Yeah. The thing is, I've done so many designs that are insane, and what I have learned is, like, you see how this whole thing, I want it to be like, this is open air and then a top goes on. So I need to be able to test this whole assembly here on its own, while it's uncovered, so I can see what's happening, because otherwise it's going to be a nightmare. And I need the wires to be accessible, easily harnessed. All of those things are coming into consideration here. And so in all honesty, what that probably means, if I look here, so we're going to now need 1, 2, 3, 4 wires. Okay. And I have like one millimeter of play. But you know what? Can probably, first of all, if I do 1.1 millimeter from the wall, and there's going to be 4 wires, so let's go like 4 millimeters. What's keeping your wires neatly in that slot? I don't know exactly what slot you mean, but we're working on it right now, basically. I get myself a loader. So motor wires are going to come through here. Don't worry, this motor's already long. Like, this modeled motor is longer than the real one, so there's going to be space. And so the 2 wires are going to come here. Somehow there's going to be a little cavity, something like this. Yeah, in terms of keeping the wires neatly in that slot while I assemble, I think I'm going to have to do like a little kind of clip that I screw in here over this slot so they don't pop out while I'm assembling it. I really want to do that sort of thing, so I don't have to deal with like push the wires in, and then quickly put the top on so the wires stay where they are and the wires don't get in any of the crevices or cracks while I'm assembling. I hate that. I hate that so much. So we're not going to be doing any of that. Keep this here. This might be good enough if I... One full diamond push-up for me? Sure. Just cause... So, diamond push-up. Like this, right? Okay. Just because you donated... And you know what? 95 Problems Plus got $20. So I'm doing one diamond push-up for Chonky Bonky 69, aka Rick, and then we're doing 20 regular push-ups for 95 Problems Plus 1. How about that? That's good enough, right? Let's see. Diamond push-up right here. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, that's one diamond, and then 20 regular. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There. Really good form too, I think. Don't worry, 95 Problems Plus 1. I did push-ups for you. Able to print and model a flexible tab, so you just push the wires into the channel. Oh, yeah. Kind of like a flexible like crack that I push the wires into, right? Yeah. Yeah, something like that. I could. That's kind of like that decreases part count, but it can make manufacturing a little bit thank you. Yeah, I'm out of breath now, obviously. But it can make the manufacturing a little bit tricky. If it's an obvious solution, certainly. So I'm wondering if this is what I have to deal with here. Let's see what this looks like, I guess. We're going to need a little more than that. We're going to need like 1.5. Is that too? It's kind of, okay, it's definitely cutting into this channel here. Yeah, it's not great. About 1. That's like better, but I don't know. That might be okay. If I fill at all of these spots here. Oh man, I just don't know. Use this to get a woder? Oh no. 5 more? Should I really be doing I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Should I really be doing a per I've taught my chatters that we're doing per dollar push-ups now? Okay. I guess that's fine. I opened the gates. Exercise is good. I'll do diamond push-ups too, just for you. How about that? Yikes. Thanks, guys. You guys are keeping me funded and keeping me in shape. Very good. I'm getting a little bit wigged out. I'm worried I'm rushing this part of it. So this is kind of where I'm at, I guess. And then this should also maybe go here. So motor wires come here, go through here, fit through here. This could work. This could work. This part, not a big fan of because of the thin walls. I thought these should be, oh, let me real quick offset this. 0.1. Okay. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to come from here and just get rid of this section. Then maybe I'll feel better about it. That's really annoying. That is just so close. The ground bar is still in like a stable place. Wires pass through. Okay. I'm like I should be done. I might need to stop just so I can think a little bit before I go too far with something that doesn't work too well. Where's my cover? Just so I get a little updated version of this shape. Wires coming through here. I'm like, what is happening here? What just happened? Is this weird for a reason? Did I feel like something happened. Hold on. Gotta do some undo steps. Guys, I promise I'm done. I promise I'll leave I promise you. Oh, it did have me cut. There, maybe. Interesting. There was a ghost selection when I did my offset. Not that one. Are you serious, dude? Are you serious? Okay. I'll just redo it, I guess. Cool. So that's where we are. That's where we are. The only thing I think I want to do, just because, is mirror the shape of this channel on the actual cover for it, because we get a little more room for the wires. I don't want to have to squish these wires. You know what I mean? That's the last thing I want to do. So, yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's back again. Is it? No, no, no. It's okay. It's fine. Okay, I'm going crazy. Yes, good. Sketch. There. Probably can do that. And that. So the channel that I'm carving will just be that shape. And this thing is 1 millimeter thick, which means I have a little bit of play. I can go like 0.5 deep, 0.6 deep maybe. Get a little bit extra room. Guys, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. All right. So let's look at this channel here. 4 wires can fit through there. Is that true? So kind of want to fill it. Because why not? How many working prototypes you made in total? Oh my god, so many. Hundreds, probably. Definitely hundreds, for sure. Okay, that's 1.7 millimeters wide. Not a lot. Four millimeters tall. What I can do is exploit the fact that I do have a little bit of more room kind of tucked under this cylindrical part. Gosh, man. So sorry. Okay. Every time I do something like this, I'm like, am I dumb? See what I mean? Like, I have that much space to add, and that could probably fit a wire or two. So that'll give me a little extra room. I've got to deal with this piece of stupid thing. Don't make a dumb shape. Don't make a dumb shape. Okay. Those 4 wires are still going to have to fit past this thing, though. But what if I do this? And that means this just moves. Look at these stupid shapes that I've created. What is wrong with me? And what's wrong with this? What material will the gears and shafts be? Hard TPU. The USB-C space there is scary. There? I don't know why. I think it's okay. It's better than it was in the last version, that's for sure. Oh, shoot. I fricked up. All right, I should stop. I should stop because I got to find the mounting screw space here. I don't know where that will go. Let me look at the ground bar. Okay. All right. So all the wires are going to come over here. And we'll deal with what comes next later. But we have some channels. So we should be good. If you look from the side. If you look from the side. Sorry, Rick. I don't know what you mean. But I'll agree with you. Sure. Okay, so we've got to find a way to mount this back panel here. It's possible that that goes into the top part just so it has a little bit more mounting space. All right. What's happened here? Is this still the right length? I swear 28.4, yeah. Okay, I think we just made this too long, I guess. Okay. All right, guys. That should be it because I need to eat food and I have to do some work for a client. But thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. You guys rock. This has been a really, really nice stream, I think. Lots of conversation between me and the chat, and that's what I love. So thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you guys very soon for the next one. Who knows when that will be, but probably soon, because I got a lot to do. Okay, bye, guys.